a gambling deal worth 500,000 US dollars per month.
Oh my.
Do you have a gambling problem?
No, I enjoy it. It's a hobby. If I had a problem, I'd be starving. I'd be hawking this watch.
So, today we get to talk about gambling again. I don't understand why it's completely okay in society. It's completely normal now to constantly bet on virtually anything now. Esports, sporting events, any of the casino stuff, the slots, poker, blackjack, you name it, right? Even though more and more people every day are becoming addicted to gambling, while the house always wins, they always manipulate all of their customers, whether it be marketing, algorithms, probability, statistics on how much you'll lose. And if you are a sharp player in any one of these casinos, you end up just getting banned because they just want to take people's money. So we're going to be going over some videos along with some comments from my previous video. So if you want to be featured on my next video, leave a comment down below or let me know what kind of topic you want me to talk about in a future video. But we're going to start off with somebody who is actually in the gambling business.
Gambling is used extensively all over the world to launder money. It's just a scam. The fact that nobody can win, we only want losing customers. That's it. It was just fucked. And they know what advertising works, what algorithm works. They know how to maximize their profit, which is to get people to lose more and more. It is just rotten to the core. Behind the scenes, there's all of this maths going on that analyzes your betting and ensures the company wins. It will always win. But if you were a problem customer, that meant that you were winning money. So you'd be labelled with a big badge that said that you're a problem, and that needs to be dealt with. So if a customer says something that could indicate they've got a problem with gambling, you would just have to go through a series of questions and just tick, 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 and that was it. Suicide calls were to be dealt with by only a senior manager, but I had a manager tell me that they just had to make a decision based on the threat and stick to it, and that it didn't matter once they hung up the phone because they didn't know whether or not they followed through with their threat or not, so that it didn't really matter. That's probably still the worst thing I've ever heard anybody say, because you don't know whether or not they killed themselves or not. It didn't matter. When you realise that the company doesn't care about people, makes you feel appalled and sort of disgusted within yourself, because you know that you're helping a company harm people and virtually deliberately harm people, because the culture is that it's all about revenue.
They don't care about you. They don't care if you kill yourself. They don't care if you lose all your money, all your assets, just gambling it away. They'll do the bare minimum if you are a gambling addict, but in their eyes, you're the best customer. They're going to make the most amount of money, and they'll do everything in their power to keep you there and keep draining your bank account. And we're just talking about casinos right here, in-person gambling. We're not talking about any of the sports betting, everything that you could do on your phone. All the marketing that is plastered everywhere, billboards, commercials, any sort of sporting event at all. They sponsor some of the biggest celebrities to endorse their online casinos, which we'll see a little bit later. You have gaming companies making loot boxes, opening up FIFA packs, having skins and guns, all behind a loot crate. So it's just a gamble if you get any of these good items or good cosmetics, which is basically just completely opening up, I guess, a legal loophole for letting children gamble. And it still happens to this day. Online streamers and YouTubers have been getting sponsored over the past few years an unbelievable amount of money to promote to primarily children. How many people watch video game videos on Twitch, on YouTube? Most of them are children. So we have a clip here from a YouTuber who makes Counter-Strike Global Offensive skin videos, which means it's just basically the cosmetics on the gun in the game. But he goes over how much he would have made if he sold his soul and got sponsored by all of these gambling companies.
We're going to be trying to figure out just how much money I would have made if I took gambling sponsors my entire career. So we're going to base this on the offers I've received from gambling sites over the years. Not what I might have gotten if I haggled the dodgiest possible site for the highest possible amount. It was in May that I got my first ever gambling offer, which was $500 a video plus affiliates. Now, this offer was a lowball.
That's kind of small.
In May 2020, I got a marginally better offer, and by marginally better, I mean 50k a month. I'm not sure if that would have included affiliates or not. We're going to assume it didn't. I don't know exactly what other content creators were getting at the time, but I don't consider this one to have been a mad lowball. I would have made 800,000 US dollars. $800,000 US dollars of gambling losses from my audience. In August 2021, another gambling site was able to get in my ear, and they offered me something quite a bit more generous, $100,000 US dollars a month plus affiliates. That's 20 months making 130k US per month, and that's 2.6 million US dollars. Add that to the money I've already made as well, and my total income is up to 3.5 million US dollars. A gambling deal worth 500,000 US dollars per month. Now, this may sound insane, but this is literally peak CS gambling. I think I would have gotten about 4 months of it, so that's about 2 million US dollars total. Since then, I've had a couple of other offers, the highest being 200,000 US dollars a month. Assuming I went with that, I would have gotten 7 months, which is 1.4 million USD, just short of 7 million US dollars during my entire career. This is why so many people can't say no.
So when I started researching another gambling video, I had no idea how lucrative it was. This is unbelievable. Now, this person isn't a nobody. They have a large YouTube channel, but gambling for loot crates in CSGO, I would say, is a pretty small niche in the wide scope of gambling in general. I do know that CSGO is a pretty popular game and gets a solid amount of viewers, but I would still call this at least somewhat of a small subsection of the gambling community, I mean, all across the world. And this person would have made almost $7 million for clicking buttons, making YouTube videos, gambling on a video game. We've had tons and tons of streamers get sponsored for ludicrous amounts of money. Some of the top streamers like XQC, which we'll talk about in a little bit, so much so that the entirety of Kick.com was made because Twitch banned gambling on their site. So all the gamblers would go over and get sponsored there, watch big streamers gamble there, losing or making tons of money, which ended up not being the case. Most of these sponsored streamers would play with money that didn't actually exist, purely for the entertainment and the manipulation of the audience to also go and gamble and possibly win all the money that they're winning, which is almost never the case. And then you have some of these streamers start getting very addicted. So we could take a look at Boss Man Jack.
174 y'all, dude. And not one of y'all can help me, dude. Oh my god, dude. I literally just hate my life. Much, dude! Oh my...
Oh man.
He's a gambling streamer who was sponsored by Stake for a while, doing his streams over on Kick, the highly esteemed, non-controversial platform that everyone here on YouTube loves. Basically, Bossman Jack Austin _07 is a horrible gambling addict who would make a bunch of money gambling and then immediately lose it all. He puts his foot through doors.
No! I lost it all!
Austin.
Dude, what the f-
Austin.
What? Dude? What?
You have a burger.
Do you want? What?
Have a burger sandwich.
Okay, dude, text me or something, bro.
Austin got arrested for drug possession and for assaulting a family member. The assault is a Class 1 misdemeanor for domestic violence, and the drug possession is a Class 5 felony. We don't even really know what drug he had as far as I'm aware, although we can speculate based on the fact that he loves crack.
Peanut butter and crack.
So this was somebody who was sponsored by Stake, another one of the big online casinos. That was a chronic gambling addict slash literal crackhead. I know it just sounds like I'm making fun of this guy, but I guess this was the kind of people that casinos wanted to endorse, at least for a while. He ended up finally getting banned off of the sites, but catching a felony will probably do that to you. Here we have XQC talking about gambling, probably one of the biggest streamers on the internet, period. I'm not even just gonna say Twitch.
Everything in every game to gamble. Every game I play, all I do is gamble. GTA, I gamble. Kevin Simulator, I spend the whole game gambling. Everywhere I go, I just gamble. I just gamble. I gamble. That's all I do. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I'm addicted. I have one of the biggest, most insanely addicted personality you'll ever find. I'm addicted to everything I do. I'm just easily addicted. Okay, so I shouldn't gamble. I still do it. Is that good? No, that's terrible. That's illness. That's illness. That's ill. I'm ill. Okay, I'm ill. But you know what? I can afford to be ill. I'm lucky. I'm lucky. I can afford to be ill. Okay? So you both can't afford to be ill.
So these are the type of people that are perfect to sponsor for all of these gambling sites. Extremely addictive personalities of massive, massive streamers with tens of thousands, if not over 100,000 viewers in some cases, watching him gamble. And because he's funny and he's loud and he yells, he has a good influence on a lot of his audience. So these companies will give him an account that will have a higher win rate, will play with just fake money so he's not actually gambling with his own money, because in my previous video there was a clip that he gambled over $3 billion on one of these sites, which is just complete fake money there, manipulating his audience into thinking that, you know, maybe they could win a whole bunch of money on stake.com or whatever site was sponsoring him that week. And we're going to go back a couple times on this. If a CSGO YouTuber who just made videos talking about skins would have made almost $7 million off of sponsorships, how much are these guys getting paid? It must be ludicrous. A lot of these FIFA packs, the loot crates and the loot boxes got bad enough that there were actually, I guess you could say, consequences for a little while for at least some companies like EA to get in trouble with the law.
It turns out that it wasn't just gamers and the media that enraged, but governments around the globe too. Discussions started, politicians held meetings, and eventually the verdict was in: guilty. EA had enabled child gambling on their online Star Wars video game. The UK undergoes talks about loot box regulation. American senators propose a bill that would regulate loot boxes. Belgium outright bans them. EA would later come out and claim that loot boxes were fun, and just like opening a Kinder Egg.
We're not getting kids to try to gamble on our video games, but we're also going to equate it to opening up a Kinder Egg, which is for children. But I don't know about you. If you play video games now in 2024, there's still packs, there's still loot crates and loot boxes and whatever they want to call it in their games. So I'm guessing nothing ever came of this. So I guess it's still just completely okay now for children to gamble. This one I used in my last video, but I think it is probably one of the best examples. We'll talk about Michael Jordan, one of the best athletes to ever live, having to go on a show and basically try to convince the world that he's not a gambling addict.
Do you have a gambling problem?
No, I enjoy it. It's a hobby. If I had a problem, I'd be starving. I'd be hawking this watch. My championship rings, I would sell my house. I would do this. My wife would left me, or she'd be starving, or my kids would be starving. I do not have a problem. I enjoy gambling. Soon, whenever I walk away from this game, I think that's the only thing that people are going to say was a bad thing about Michael Jordan.
I think the last sentence there really nails it. He knows that he's a gambling addict if he says that when he retired, the only thing negative about him at all was that he was a heavy gambler, which turns into just being a gambling addict, because what's the main goal of gambling? To win more money, correct? Well, as of 2024, Michael Jordan is worth $3.2 billion. How much more money do you really need, man? He doesn't need any more money. He was just a gambling addict. And I know he wasn't worth $3.2 billion while he was still playing basketball, but if you look at the summary right under the $3.2 billion USD, this wealth is not merely the result of his basketball earnings, which totaled more than $90 million over his illustrious career. So at that point, he made almost $100 million. I would venture to guess that most people who watch this video believe that $90 million is a pretty solid amount of money. Probably don't need much more than that for your entire life, and most likely generations under you, your entire family should probably just be completely fine. So if somebody worth over $90 million had to go on TV to convince the public that he wasn't a gambling addict, that probably means he was a gambling addict. So we have a comment from my previous gambling video. I also despise gambling. Growing up, my dad had retired from the military after 25 years and then worked a full-time job. And I remember that a few times he would get sent on work trips for a week at a time to Las Vegas, and my mom would freak out when it would come up because in more than one instance he blew his whole month's income in the casino in a week's time. Both his income and retirement, and then they would have zero money for the whole month. Then it goes on that she's a woman in her 40s and she's never gambled before, and that's the reason why. And I bet a lot of people would probably think that I have a similar story, and that's why I'm so vehemently against gambling. Like, my dad was a heavy gambling addict, or I had, somebody, a personal friend, a family member that was a heavy gambler and it destroyed their life. And honestly, I don't. I think just the manipulation that casinos and the lottery and any sort of gambling site uses to make you believe that you're going to win the jackpot when you're just handing over your hard-earned money for virtually no reason makes me dislike the entire concept of gambling as a whole. Alright, well, apparently my camera overheated and I did not realize it until I completely finished this video and went to stop recording and found out the camera was just off, so now we have to re-record the end of this video. But we are ending this video with an interesting comment that I got on my first video talking about gambling addiction in today's world. This was a comment by Vegas Matt, who, if you don't know, is a very popular gambling YouTuber. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you the comment on screen right now, which we'll talk about in a second, but he commented on the video saying, "I gamble with my own money. I show my losses, not just my wins. You clearly haven't watched any of my videos and don't know who I am." This is referring to a clip which was honestly a very boring clip of him gambling.
$72,000 if I pick the right pig. $123.52 if I completely abort the mission. Basically, next pig is one of these 4 bonuses. The question is, which pig? EJ, which pig?
The one with the dollar sign. You pick it. I don't know.
The dollar sign. They all have a dollar sign.
And a red hat. It's on you. Whatever.
Or the red hat. All right. Well, do you think they put 3 minis in a row? I don't know.
Ooh, I don't like that one.
You don't like that?
Nah.
Good God,
so
man.
Then the furthest
Just
away
friggin'
from
pick one.
What? This one?
Maybe 3 grands right next to each other.
3 grands, like here?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one?
Yep.
Make it a grand. How much is that?
There are tons of these videos.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm scared. 4, go!
And I said that he was one of these people who would get sponsored by casinos and get free money to gamble, which I will admit right now that I was wrong, because actually when I did some research on this, he actually does get free money from sponsorships, and he admitted to this himself, but forget about that for a little while. We'll just say that I was wrong and he didn't get free money on these gambling videos he was making. So I woke up and saw that comment and I went on my computer to look him up because I didn't watch any of his videos and I didn't know who he was. So after I did my research and realized who Vegas Matt was, I went back to that video to screenshot the comment because I was going to use it in this video. Well, when I went back to get that comment, it was removed. My guess is that one of the biggest gambling YouTubers didn't want to have a public comment on a video talking about the predatory practices of gambling companies, especially on a video with like 14 or 15,000 views and a channel with only 8,000 subs compared to his 600,000+. But I still remember the comment, and we're going to go sentence by sentence on what Vegas Matt said on my video. "I gamble with my own money and lose a lot," which is true, not gonna lie. However, the daily content he makes every single day, actually daily content, of him winning and losing money gets at least 300,000 views a video. So that begins to mitigate some of the losses that he's taking on these videos. And you could possibly make the argument, I don't know if he actually does this for sure, but these videos are his business. You could make the argument that some of these losses are a business expense. So you could probably write some of that off on taxes. I'm not saying that he does. You can just make the argument for it, but we'll let that one go. So in this past month, his channel has gotten 32 million views on his YouTube videos. And if you go by my CPM on my own channel, which is around $6, that's around $190,000 he's making per month. Now, my videos are anywhere from 15 to maybe 25 minutes long, and most of his videos are 35 to 45 minutes long. So you could put in a couple more ads. So my guess is that he'd be making a little bit more than me, but we'll leave it at the $6 for the CPM. He also sells merchandise for his 650,000 subscriber YouTube audience. If you know anything about merch, that is a huge income stream for a lot of YouTubers. Look at how much Logan and Jake Paul pushed that when they were at the peak of their popularity. They even admitted that they made more money off of their shirts than they did off the YouTube videos. So that's another solid stream there. Vegas Matt is also sponsored by massive companies like FanDuel and Carnival Cruise Line. FanDuel is one of the biggest gambling companies in the world, and Carnival Cruise Line is exactly what it sounds like, a cruise line that apparently includes a lot of gambling, enough to sponsor Vegas Matt for their entire cruise line. So I didn't actually know that. I guess there's just a ton of gambling on that cruise. So we're gonna go back again. If a CSGO YouTuber would have made almost $7 million off of making gambling videos for his YouTube audience, how much is Vegas Matt making? You are in ads for FanDuel with Rob Gronkowski, a 4-time Super Bowl champion. FanDuel's YouTube channel is basically just dedicated to Vegas Matt now. He ats FanDuel FanDuel and other casinos on Twitter constantly, and I don't think he's doing that out of the kindness of his heart. That is all sponsorships. So he is right. It is his money. It's just the money these gambling companies have given him for his sponsorships, and that is easily over 7 figures. I would venture to guess you're getting close to the 8-figure territory for how big his audience is. But if we want to go back to the I don't get free money to gamble, this is all my money, because I was lumping him into a lot of the other streamers who were getting sponsored by Stake and they'd get completely fake accounts and free money to do whatever they want with. But if we go to Vegas Matt's actual Reddit account, we could check out some of the comments he's made in the past. So right here we have him going back and forth in an argument on a Reddit post, which we'll get to in about a minute. But in this argument, they're just talking about an event that ended up not happening that was in Atlantic City, New Jersey. People were saying it happened. His own account said it didn't happen, but I think these comments are pretty interesting. What on earth are you talking about? What would have made me fly across the country to do some event for free? I was initially promised a decent amount of free play and expenses from the casino. But I thought you didn't get free play. I thought you use all of your own money. All of your own money that has been given to you by sponsorships from FanDuel and Carnival Cruise Line and your YouTube channel that uses gambling content to make money. But right here, he was going to take a deal from a casino that was free play. So I thought that was very interesting. So now let's go to the last sentence. You clearly haven't watched any of my videos and don't know who I am. So let's go to Vegas Matt's YouTube channel. So here we go. We're on Vegas Matt's YouTube channel, 663,000 subs, 850 videos, and makes a video every day, 21 hours, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4, 5, 6, 7, every single day. These videos are 40 minutes long, and this is the kind of content he makes.
All right, it's Huff and Puff Day. We're gonna play Huff and 4 Puff right behind me here.
I'm just gonna cut around because if you could see right here, it is just the same thing. He just puts a tripod right in front of the giant iPads and just kind of rambles with somebody else while they're gambling.
It's not good. For an $80 bet.
I mean, you know what?
We got a gold.
Oh, yeah, there's already a couple more. There's a wolf in the middle room.
Yeah, I think so.
Mansion feature.
Right there.
Visually, I think this one's the most appealing, you know, with the triple wheel and the golden buzzsaw.
The triple wheel?
Well, that was a very Huff and Puff session, and it's been a very Huff and Puff weekend. I want to thank the Peppermill and...
So this is not my cup of tea, but if you like this kind of content and are entertained, then all the power to you. I'm not saying you're a bad person or anything, it's all subjective, but it's just not for me. So we watched his videos and what kind of thing he does for content, so now we're going to find out who he is. Before Vegas Matt was a gambling YouTuber, he was a higher up at an MLM called Vima. And if you don't know what an MLM is, let's let a CoffeeZilla video clue you in on it.
Multi-level marketing, once seen as the new way to make a part-time or full-time income from home. Now it's almost universally ridiculed and mocked by anyone because, guys, we've done the experiment. The numbers are in. It's a failing business model that doesn't work except if you're at the tippity top. If you can get enough suckers underneath you to lose money, you can then make money. That is true. That is an honest thing they say. MLMs involve, the majority of their work is, hey, you got to go recruit. So in order for you to succeed, this is what makes MLMs completely unique. You have to make other people go lose. Do you get that? Because to succeed, you have to recruit. And to recruit, you have to knowingly bring people into a system where 90% of the people make less than a McDonald's salary. Now we're going to look at another MLM called Vima. And again, these are their numbers, not mine.
Damn, this bra makes my breasts feel amazing. Michelle, you should get this bra. But in the bra world, if she bought a bra...
Is this guy drunk? This is like Vima's sales guy? What's going on here?
And if you take a look at this ad for Vima trying to recruit more people into their business, you have Vegas Matt in it. So he was high enough on the totem pole to actually be in the ad trying to get people into this business so they could make more money.
Now, of course, when you go to their disclosure statements, you will find that 40% of the people make $900. Woohoo. Anyway, you go down the list and you find that once again, the vast majority make less than A Walmart employee. Yes, I'm changing it up for McDonald's.
So he made millions off of these MLMs while most people just made around $900 and got completely screwed. He has said several times on podcasts, on Reddit posts, YouTube videos that it was a mistake, it's past him, you know, he feels bad about it. But if he did it one time, then maybe you can make the argument that it was a mistake. Even though he made millions off of other people basically just getting screwed, he's actually been in several MLMs. So if you do it one time, the argument could be made that it is a mistake. After you do it several times, that's just a pattern. But we could go to another comment from Vegas Matt's Reddit. Glad it's behind me. I don't own the company, I didn't run the company, and I certainly didn't invent MLM. Let it go. Find something or someone else to be negative and vindictive to. So even though I made millions off of it and mostly everybody else made less than $1,000, let it go, man. Stop being so negative towards me. I didn't invent MLM, I just profited from it greatly. So that's the kind of person Vegas Matt is. He could say sorry all he wants and have hundreds of thousands of people that enjoy his content today, but it seems like you went from manipulating people beneath you at an MLM to make millions to being sponsored by massive gambling companies who manipulate their customers into believing that they'll win big and they'll be a millionaire just like you. So if you like his content and it's entertaining, that's completely fine to you. It's just not for me, but now I do know what kind of content you make and the person you are, and I could honestly say I don't like you as a person. That's the end of this video. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on the screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.